And this will be train number 1, the 6:33 from Heinz Park to Walthamstow.
Well, I managed to delete the video of train number 1, so what do you do in such circumstances? Well, obviously you put in a picture of the railhead treatment train. What else?
This is train number 2, or was train number 2, the underground from Walthamstow to King's Cross. And this is train number 3, the 8:16 to Brussels.
So we're just leaving St Pancras, and I thought it would be a good idea if we had a look at our route today. So we're heading to Hamburg, and then up into Denmark and across to Copenhagen, then on into Sweden and to the port of Karlshamn, and then we cross the Baltic Sea to Klaipeda, and finally get the train to Vilnius.
This is train number 4, 12:25 from Brussels to Cologne.
Okay, das ist hier, 76 Meter. Ich dachte, da kommt niemand.
And we're waiting at Cologne now for the 15:10 from Cologne to Hamburg. Just waiting for this one to go out, which is just about an hour late.
Über Dortmund Hauptbahnhof. Abfahrt 15:18 Uhr von Gleis 5B bis E direkt gegenüber. Und S19 nach Düren über Köln.
And now on the train to Hamburg. So having my dinner while I travel. And as is typical of German railways these days, I think we're running a bit late. And now here we are on the approach to Hamburg.
And we're now in Hamburg. And the next train, number 6, will be the 8:55 to Copenhagen.
And here we are in the north of Germany, now going over the Rendsburg Transporter Bridge, which is very high over the water. It goes over the Kiel Canal. And we're now at the border station from Germany going into Denmark. And here we are with a view out of the back of the train, which is always interesting to have a little look at. And this is the Great Belt Bridge between two Denmark's islands. It opened in 1998. The road and rail run alongside to a sort of about a halfway point where there's an island, and then the rail goes into a tunnel, and the road continues on a bridge to go over the rest of the water. And you know you're approaching Copenhagen when you start to see lots of adverts and so on for Carlsberg. And this is train number 7, the 14:44 from Copenhagen to Karlshamn in Sweden. And we're now going onto the Øresund link, which links Denmark and Sweden. We've just come out of a tunnel for the first section, and then there's a sort of artificial island, and you then go onto a joint bridge where the railway runs at the lower level with the road on top. And this is the train just leaving Karlshamn.
So this is Karlshamn, and the port is supposed to be 40 minutes walk away, if I can find it. Although we're still in Sweden, Klaipeda, as on the sign over there, is actually in Lithuania. So it suggests the port, we're going the right way.
And here we are at the TT line check-in cabin, which is a bit basic compared to the DFDS one next door. And then the few foot passengers board a minibus, which then drives you onto the boat, as you can see here.
Well, I've found the boat, and here it is. I'm on it. Oh, you seem to be moving. Boat tour. It's the setting sun behind us.
And then I went down to the restaurant and had a very tasty supper, and then sat in the restaurant come bar area and watch the sea and the passengers go by. And here's a little room tour. Not too bad actually, that's a decent size. Compared to those you get on a train anyway. And you can see a lot of sea out there. And in here, have a loo and a shower. So, not too bad at all.
Morning. Well, it's just coming up to 8 o'clock and it's time for breakfast. And outside I can just about see some coast, I think, and one or two other ships about.
And it's a rather nice day out there, I think. You can see we had a couple of ships there, and I think there's a coastline in the distance. Breakfast.
And it's a rather lovely day. And there we have the coast of Lithuania.
Now the mainland here is actually on the left, somewhat obscured by the boat. The landmass you can see on the right is actually known as the Curonian Spit, which is a 98-kilometre finger of land that stretches all the way from Kaliningrad, the Russian exclave, to the south, and I will now demonstrate by means of a map.
And we're just in the final stages of docking. And here we are in Klaipeda in Lithuania, and I'm waiting at the bus stop for a bus into town. It should be about 20 minutes.
And here we are on the bus going into town, with a reader that even takes bank cards, which I was impressed with. And this is the river flowing through the centre of town.
And here is Clypedia Station. Looks like a bit of engine running around its train going on here.
And we're now on our way to Vilnius.
That was train number 8, 12:35 from Klaipėda to Vilnius.
So today is a day out to Trakai Castle, although my pronunciation of that may be a bit varied.
And here we are at Vilnius for train number 8. This is the 11 o'clock from Vilnius to Trakai.
Access the train via the underpass.
And we're upstairs in first class. And here we are in Trakai. Just a half-hour short run from Vilnius. Some very pleasant lakes and castle scenery. Train number 10 will be the 17:15 from Trakai to Vilnius. Just a half an hour run or so. Should be here in a few minutes.
And here we are now, back at Vilnius. So we're going to do some wandering around Vilnius, including going up the TV tower and then visiting the Cat Cafe.
Here's a rather pleasant little corner of Vilnius, complete with waterfalls.
And here's some of the sights from the town centre. And now we're at the TV tower, which rises to a height of 326 metres. And if you're so inclined, you can sort of walk along around outside of the fence, as long as you kind of got a safety anchor on you. And here's a trolley bus for those who like that sort of thing.
And here we are in a rather rainy Vilnius. So What's that I see over there?
And now we're back at the station to get a train to Marcinkonys, which is a little station a couple of hours south of Vilnius towards the border with Belarus.
And I think this is train number 11, is it? The 1444 from Vilnius to Marcinkonys or something like that. It's on the side of the thing. That's where we're going. So, here we are, in the wilds of Lithuania, at the end of a little branch line at Marcinkonys, or something like that. And there's the train I just came in on, and the one I'll be going back on. Train number 12, I think, the 1650 to Vilnius. It's time to head for home. The next train will be the train number 13, I think, the 12:30 from Vilnius to Mokawa, which is on the Polish border where we have to change trains.
And here it is. But before we go any further, we'll just have a quick look at the route map. And here it is. We go from Vilnius to Warsaw, then on to Berlin, and the overnight sleeper to Brussels, and then finally Eurostar to London. And this is Mokawa, at the border with Poland, where we have to get off the Lithuanian train we arrived on the left and board the Polish train on the right. And we're now arriving at the Polish side of the border, where there's going to be Polish passport control. And we're now at Suwałki, which is a terminal station, so the engine has to be swapped round. And on leaving the station, I see that we are passing a Freightliner train which is being pulled by a Class 66 British loco. And we're now at Bialystok.
Oh, we've got some more coaches coming.
And I went to the restaurant car and had my supper. And we're now arriving in Warsaw.
And that was train number 14 at 15:25 from Warszawa to Warsaw Central. And it's about 8 o'clock now, so that was a pretty good trip and a very nice supper in the restaurant.
And this is train number 15, the 10:45 from Warsaw to Berlin. And here we are in Berlin with a few hours to spare before the night train. Well, one thing I didn't expect to find in Berlin was Scottish bagpipers, but here they are beside the Victory Column. I had to suffer them, so you do too.
Here I am in Berlin, having walked about 5 or 6 miles around the town, I think, and had a nice McDonald's, my ration of one per trip. And now I'm waiting for the 23:34 to Brussels, which gets in about 9:30 tomorrow. And I've got a compartment where I shall be one of potentially 5 people. So that will be interesting to see how that goes. I'll let you know in due course. Oh, look at that, wonderful. An hour late. Haven't even got on it yet. Mind you, that was an hour late as well. Did you be a very good night tonight for German Railways? Wonderful. It's now an hour and a half late. And we've now gone back to 2 hours late. Oh dear. Well, this goes from bad to worse. It's gone up to 2.5 hours late now. Amazing. Oh, it's a slight improvement now. Gone from 2 o'clock to 1:50.
And about time. We're now approaching Amsterdam, where I'm going to lose some of my compartment companions. And here's the view out of the back window leaving Rotterdam. Quite a colourful train, 12 coaches in total. Now we're moving again, just on the final approach to Brussels. That was a bit of a retro train, that one. Goodness knows how old these carriages are. And train number 17, I think, at 12:56 from St Pancras to, no, hang on a minute, from Brussels to St Pancras.
This is train number 18, the King's Cross Underground, King's Cross to Walthamstow Central. And train number 19, the final train, 14:33 from Walthamstow Central to Hyams Park.